Europe was never supposed to build muscle like this. Yet, scattered across the continent are 10 machines that broke every rule and rewrote what power could feel like. Some became legends, others disappeared into obscurity, but their true worth today tells a very different story. Let's bring them back into the light. The Bristol Fighter arrived as a quiet rebellion from an English company better known for aircraft than for noise on the open road. Bristol wanted a grand touring machine that could look a supercar in the eye, yet speak with the deep cadence of raw mechanical strength. That ambition led them to a 488 cubic inch V10 drawn from the mighty American Serpent, a power plant that poured out torque in long, steady waves and pushed the coupe toward a claimed top end beyond 200 miles per hour. Engineers shaped an aluminum body with remarkable smoothness, aided by a low drag form and the dramatic gull-wing doors that echoed the firm's aviation bloodline. Beneath that skin lay a chassis built for high-speed stability, with suspension geometry tuned for confidence rather than theatrics. The cabin felt purposeful and restrained, trimmed in leather and arranged so the driver sat almost in line with the long hood and the soaring arc of the doors. Only a handful of fighters are believed to exist, which is why their original price of roughly $400,000 has grown into a modern value that often settles deep into the upper six figures when one quietly changes hands. That rarity gives the fighter an aura few European machines ever earned. If stories like this speak to you, let American Muscle Soul ride along by subscribing and keeping these forgotten giants alive. The ISO Grifo emerged in the middle of the 1960s as a grand touring machine shaped by the finest hands in Italy and powered by unmistakable American force. Its price, when new, sat near $12,000, placing it among the serious European contenders of its era and aimed directly at buyers who wanted elegance without sacrificing raw strength. Beneath its long hood lived a range of Chevrolet V8 engines, from the 327 cubic inch small block to the massive 427 cubic inch big block. Period road tests showed the big block cars pushing past 160 miles per hour, giving the Grifo performance that challenged both American muscle and the grand tourers of Maranello. Its chassis used a front-mounted engine and rear-wheel drive layout with a Dadion rear assembly and disc brakes on all four corners. Designers Giorgetto Giugiaro and Giotto Bizzarini shaped the car with sharp Italian proportions and a cabin trimmed with leather and clarity, building a machine that carried both precision and presence. The mix of light Italian bodywork and broad-shouldered American torque created a character unique in Europe at the time. Recent sales show how strongly collectors still value that combination. A 1968 Grifo series, one sold in Pebble Beach for $362,500, while a 1977-liter Series 1 brought $555,000 at an American auction earlier this year. Even rarer competition bred, A3 cars linked to Bizzarini's Le Mans ambitions have crossed the block at values approaching $2 million, especially the early Spider prototype that resurfaced after decades hidden from view. That rediscovery reaffirmed the Grifo's status as one of the most compelling blends of Italian design and American muscle ever built. The Aston Martin V8 Vantage Le Mans V600 was built in the final years of the 20th century by the Works division as a tribute to the company's endurance racing heritage. Its body carried wide fenders, a long, commanding hood, and the unmistakable stance of a grand touring machine, shaped with equal parts elegance and brute intent. Inside, thick leather, polished metal, and hand-finished details reminded the driver that every surface had passed through human hands, not mass production. A small number of Le Mans cars were assembled, each centered around a 525 cubic inch V8 fitted with twin Eaton superchargers, developed by the Works program. That system lifted output to 600 horsepower and turned the car into one of the most forceful British machines of its era. When new, the Le Mans edition carried a price close to $250,000, a figure that reflected both its limited production and the labor involved in building each one to order. Values today show how strongly collectors still pursue these cars. Recent sales from major American auctions have reached well into the high six figures, with the best preserved examples climbing even higher. If you have ever stood near one of these rare Vantages or heard that supercharged engine in person, share your comment below so others can feel that moment through your eyes. The Jensen Interceptor came from the United Kingdom in the latter half of the 1960s, built during a period when British manufacturers were searching for a way to blend European grand touring elegance with the growing appeal of American V8 power. It entered the market as an upscale coupe priced near $10,000 in the United States, placing it above many British rivals but giving buyers a level of performance and luxury that justified the cost. Today, restored examples routinely appear at auction in the low to mid six-figure range, and rare high-quality cars can climb even higher as collectors rediscover the charm of this Anglo-American collaboration. Its engine was a Chrysler-supplied V8 drawn from the big block family, measuring roughly 383 cubic inches in early cars and growing even larger in later versions. That motor produced a wave-like surge of torque that gave the Interceptor long-legged acceleration and relaxed high-speed cruising. Though not a sports car in the strictest sense, it carried itself with an authority that made it feel closer to an American grand touring muscle machine than a lightweight British roadster. The design was the work of Italian coach builder Carrozzeria Touring, who gave the Interceptor a long hood, a sweeping roofline, and a wide planted stance unusual among British cars of the era. Its distinctive wraparound rear glass became a signature element, adding both style and visibility. Inside, the cabin offered leather, wood trim, and a level of comfort intended for long journeys, completing a package that combined British craftsmanship, Italian styling, and American power in a way few cars have ever matched. The Mercedes-Benz SL/S AMG Black Series came from Germany, built in a Falterbach, as one of the final great expressions of the naturally aspirated V8 era. Its engine, a hand-assembled unit measuring roughly 380 cubic inches, delivered 620 horsepower, with a response so sharp it felt alive beneath the throttle. Rear-wheel drive, a strengthened chassis, and a revised suspension turned that power into controlled violence, giving the car the balance and precision expected from a German performance machine. Its appearance carried the unmistakable influence of the original gullwing. Wider fenders, deeper intakes, and a lower, more aggressive stance set it apart from the standard SLS, while carbon fiber pieces reduced weight and sharpened the car's presence. Inside, the upward swinging doors opened to a cabin trimmed in leather and metal, shaped with a driver-first philosophy that blended long-distance comfort with track-ready purpose. Mercedes built fewer than 1,000 examples, each sold in the American market for a price near $275,000 when new. Recent sales at major auctions show how strongly collectors now chase this machine, with well-kept cars climbing into the mid-six-figure range, and certain low-mileage examples reaching even higher. A story that helped elevate its legacy came when Hollywood actor Paul Walker, known for his deep enthusiasm for powerful German and Japanese performance cars, added an SLS Black Series to his collection. His ownership brought wider attention to the model at a time when naturally aspirated supercars were fading from the industry, helping cement the Black Series as one of the most admired high-performance machines of its generation. The Jaguar F-Type R came from the United Kingdom in the early years of the 21st century, created at a moment when Jaguar wanted to revive the pure idea of a front-engined British sports car. It stepped forward as the modern heir to the company's long tradition of grand touring coupes, carrying the mix of elegance and force that had shaped the brand for decades. Its supercharged V8 measured roughly 305 cubic inches and delivered a deep rising wave of horsepower that felt immediate and unfiltered. The sound of that engine became one of its defining traits, a crackling roar that seemed to belong as much to an American boulevard as to the winding roads of the English countryside. Rear-wheel drive and an adaptive suspension kept the car balanced, allowing it to move between calm, long-distance comfort and sharp-spirited driving with ease. Flowing proportions and sculpted surfaces gave the F-Type R a shape that looked both modern and unmistakably Jaguar. A wide front grille, strong fenders, and a low tapering roofline created a silhouette that felt alive even at rest. The interior continued that theme with leather, metal, and a driver-focused layout. When new in the American market, the car carried a price near $100,000. Today, well-kept examples often fall in the high five-figure to low six-figure range, depending on age and condition. If you are still with me on this journey through European muscle, comment the number 6 below, so I know you are enjoying these remarkable machines as much as I am. The Tomaso Longchamp came from Italy as a grand touring coupe, shaped with sharp proportions and a confident stance that reflected the company's blend of European style and American power. Its chassis carried a front-mounted V8, drawn from the Cleveland family of Ford engines, a design known for broad torque and reliable strength. That engine measured roughly 351 cubic inches and delivered the kind of steady pull that made the Longchamp feel more muscular than many of its European rivals. The car moved with a character defined by long-wave acceleration rather than high-strung urgency. Its rear-wheel drive layout and wide track helped it settle into fast, sweeping roads with the calm confidence expected from a grand touring machine, while the exhaust note carried the unmistakable rhythm of an American V8 breathing through Italian bodywork. Designers gave the Longchamp a low roofline, crisp edges, and a wide planted posture that set it apart from the softer shapes common in European coupes of the era. The cabin followed a clean, functional theme, with leather, clear gauges, and a long forward view over the hood. When new, the Longchamp sat in the upper pricing range of Italian Grand Tourers, reflecting both its low production volume and its hand-finished construction. Recent sales from major auction houses show most well-kept examples trading in the low to mid-six-figure range, with rarer G, TS, and America variants reaching even higher as collectors continue to rediscover the appeal of this unusual Italian and American collaboration. The Mercedes-Benz 300e 6.0 AMG Hammer came from Germany in the late 1980s, a moment when AMG was still an independent workshop with something to prove. What began as a sensible W124 sedan was transformed into a machine that challenged the very idea of what a European four-door could be. Its heart was a hand-built AMG V8 measuring roughly 366 cubic inches. The engineers enlarged the displacement, revised the heads, and tuned the engine into the now famous 6-liter layout. The result was a surge of torque that pushed the Hammer forward with an authority usually reserved for full-fledged supercars. Road tests from the period confirmed that it could approach 190 miles per hour, placing it among the fastest sedans in the world. The exterior stayed remarkably restrained. Subtle flares, deeper aero pieces, and a lowered stance hinted at what lived underneath without shouting for attention. Inside, Mercedes craftsmanship remained intact, creating a contrast between calm luxury and the explosive performance waiting beneath the throttle. Its cost at the time reflected the extensive hand-built work involved, often climbing beyond $120,000 and placing it squarely in exotic territory. Modern collectors now chase the few surviving examples, and recent auction results show values rising into the mid-six-figure range as the Hammer continues to stand as the car that carried AMG from a tuner's workshop to global legend. The Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG Black Series came from Germany in the early years of the last decade, created at a time when AMG wanted to prove that a compact coupe could carry the same intensity and theater as the larger machines from a Falterbach. It arrived as the most forceful expression of the C-Class, a limited production model built for drivers who wanted a car that felt closer to a track machine than a commuter coupe. Its engine was the hand-built AMG V8, measuring roughly 378 cubic inches, a naturally aspirated unit tuned to deliver a thick wave of horsepower with a throttle response that felt immediate and physical. Road tests of the day confirmed that the Black Series could move beyond 180 miles per hour, a figure that placed it among the quickest compact performance coupes of its era. The rear-wheel drive layout, widened track, and reworked suspension added a level of precision that made the car feel planted and alert even at high speeds. The exterior carried flared fenders, deeper intakes, a wider stance, and aerodynamic pieces shaped to keep the car stable as speeds climbed. Inside, the cabin remained familiar to C-Class owners but gained heavier bolstered seats and a more focused driving position, reminding the driver that this was no ordinary coupe. When new in the American market, the Black Series carried a price near $115,000. Modern auction results show well-preserved examples trading well into the six-figure range, with the best low-mileage cars climbing even higher as collectors recognize its place as one of the defining, high-revving AMG models of its generation. Some of these European machines roared in the spotlight, and others slipped quietly into the shadows, but each carried its own idea of muscle across a very different continent. If this journey through forgotten power spoke to you, let American Muscle Soul ride with you a little longer. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us as we uncover the next great story waiting beneath the hood.